Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how to create an XRP check on the XRP Ledger. So firstly, we are going to make the necessary imports. We import the JSON RPC client from JSON. Next, we are going to import the wallets object. Next, we import the check create model, which will help us create a check easily. Next, we are going to import the XRP to drops helper method, the date time to repo time helper method, which help us convert our date time to the blockchain based repo time. And next we are going to import the string to hex, which will help us convert our strings to hexadecimals. Next we import the sign and submit method, which helps us sign, submit, and wait for a response from the blockchain. Lastly, we import the datetime object and the time delta object, which will help us submit this transaction we are about to see in the video. So we are going to define our client first and instantiate that client to the testnet, which we've done here. Next, we restore the check creator wallet. So we say check creator wallet. Now we create the variable, the check creator variable, which we assign to a wallet object, and then instantiate the wallet from a seed, which is this. Now we set the receiver, the person that will be able to cash the check receiver. Okay, so we just pass in an address here instead, which I will show you. Now this address I have access to, so in later videos I will show you how to cash this particular check that was issued to this address from the creator. Next we build our transaction, call it the check create variable, and then we assign the transaction object to that variable. Now there are 3 compulsory fields and there are 2 optional fields. So the first compulsory field, as we all know and love, is the account field, which is just the address of the person that is creating the transaction. Next, we have the destination. Now set this destination as the check receiver. Now the last compulsory field is obviously the amount field, which is specified as the send max. Now for this send max, we are going to pass in XRP as an integer, or a float, or a decimal, one of the above. But before that, we will call the XRP to drops method, which will help us format this XRP, 10 XRP, and format it to drops, which will come out as around 1,000,000 drops, which the blockchain can understand. Now we go to the optional fields. So in the optional fields, there is something called the invoice ID. Now I'm convinced that this is just to serve as an identifier if we are to use this check as an invoice fulfillment. So we pass in the string to hex method, which will convert our string to hexadecimal. And I'm quickly going to autofill this and pass in the invoice ID, which is check create with invoice ID 01. You can pass in any field there, so far as it is as long as 32 bytes. If it's less than or more than 32 bytes, this transaction is going to fail. Next, we pass in the expiration date. Now, I'm going to fill this in too. I'm going to explain this. So what this does, this expiration date specifies the time after which the check has expired. Now, after the check has expired, no one can cash the check. The check can only be cancelled. It can no more be cashed. Now you can see this is the method we imported earlier, the date time to repo time method. So what we did here, we returned current date, which is datetime.now, and then added an extra 1 day, and then we are converting that to a repo time. So this just means this check will expire a day from now, which is tomorrow, by this time tomorrow. Next, we are going to sign, submit, and wait for a response from the blockchain. So we do that by creating a variable called the response. and then sign and submit. Then we pass in the transaction, which is the check rate. We pass in the wallet that is submitting and signing the transaction, which is the check creator. And then we pass in the client, which will help us submit and wait for a response from the blockchain. Next, we print the result by saying print response. Okay. Response dot result. Now we are going to run this code. So say Python create check. That's P1. Now, as you can see, the transaction was successful and we returned with a message TX success. You can see the check was created successfully. You can see the invoice ID. You can see the send marks field, which I talked about. Now, the SDK did a good job of converting it from converting the XRP to drops. So in later videos, I will show you how to cache a check and how to read the check object from the blockchain. Thank you.